Have you ever felt like life has thrown you into a pit? One moment you're the favorite wearing a coat of many colors, and the next, you're betrayed by the very people who should have protected you. This is the incredible story of Joseph, a tale of jealousy, betrayal, and ultimate redemption that shows how even the worst situations can be turned into something amazing. In ancient QAnon, there lived a young man named Joseph. He was his father Jacob's favorite son, and to show his love, Jacob gave him a stunning, colorful coat. But this gift, meant to be a symbol of love, sparked a fire of jealousy in his 10 older brothers. Their envy grew hotter when Joseph shared 2 dreams he'd had. Dreams were his brother's sheaves of grain, and even the sun, moon, and stars bowed down to him. They couldn't stand the thought of their younger brother ruling over them. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers as they tended the flocks. Now, seeing him coming from a distance, they saw their chance. "Here comes the dreamer," they sneered. They hatched a cruel plan. They ambushed him, ripped the beautiful coat from his back, and threw him into a dry, empty pit. While they sat down to eat, a caravan of traders heading to Egypt passed by. Judah, one of the brothers, had an idea. Instead of leaving Joseph to die, why not make a profit? So, for 20 pieces of silver, they sold their own brother into slavery. To cover their crime, they dipped his coat in goat's blood and took it back to their father. Jacob, seeing the tattered, bloody robe, was consumed by grief. Believing his beloved son had been torn apart by a wild animal, his heart was shattered. Meanwhile, Joseph was taken to Egypt and sold to a man named Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's high-ranking officials. Even as a slave in a foreign land, Joseph's character shone. He was honest, diligent, and hardworking. God was with him, and everything he touched prospered. Potiphar saw this and trusted him completely, putting him in charge of his entire household. But this favor brought a new trial. Potiphar's wife took notice of the handsome young man and tried to seduce him. Day after day she pursued him, but Joseph refused. "How could I do such a wicked thing," he told her, "and sin against God?" Scorned and furious, she lied, falsely accusing Joseph of attacking her. Though Potiphar likely suspected the truth, to save face, he had Joseph thrown into prison. From a trusted servant to a prisoner in a dungeon, it seemed, Joseph's life was spiraling further downward. But even in the darkness of the prison, he didn't lose faith. God was still with him. Soon the prison warden saw Joseph's integrity and put him in charge of all the other prisoners. His life took another turn when 2 of Pharaoh's own servants, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, were thrown into the same prison. Both had troubling dreams, and Joseph, with God's help, interpreted them. He told the cupbearer he would be restored to his position in 3 days, and the baker that he would be executed. Everything happened exactly as Joseph had foretold. Joseph's only request to the cupbearer was, "Remember me when you are restored." But once freed, the cupbearer forgot all about the young man in the dungeon. 2 more years passed, then Pharaoh himself had 2 disturbing dreams that no one in his kingdom could interpret. He dreamed of 7 sleek fat cows being devoured by 7 ugly thin cows, and 7 healthy heads of grain being swallowed by 7 thin blighted heads. That's when the cupbearer's memory was finally jogged. He told Pharaoh about the Hebrew man in prison who could interpret dreams. Joseph was immediately summoned from the dungeon. Standing before the most powerful man in the world, Joseph didn't take credit. He said, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer." He explained that the dreams were a message from God. Egypt would experience 7 years of incredible abundance, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. He advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise man to collect and store grain during the good years to prepare for the bad. Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's wisdom and humility that he declared, "Can we find anyone like this man, in whom is the Spirit of God?" In a breathtaking turn of events, Pharaoh appointed Joseph, the former slave and prisoner, as the governor over all of Egypt. Joseph was now second in command, tasked with saving the nation. The 7 years of plenty came, and Joseph wisely stored massive amounts of grain. Then, just as he had predicted, the famine struck, not just in Egypt, but across the entire region. People from all over came to Egypt to buy food because only Egypt had prepared. And who should appear before him, bowing low to the ground? His 10 brothers? They had come from Canaan to buy grain, desperate to survive. They didn't recognize this powerful Egyptian ruler, But Joseph knew them instantly. His childhood dreams were coming true right before his eyes. Instead of revealing himself immediately, he tested them to see if their hearts had changed. After a series of dramatic tests that proved their remorse and love for their family, Joseph could no longer contain himself. He sent everyone out of the room and, through tears, revealed his identity. "I am Joseph," he cried. "Is my father still alive?" His brothers were terrified, but Joseph comforted them. "Do not be distressed," he said. "It was not you who sent me here, but God." He forgave them completely, understanding that their evil act had been used by God for a greater good, to save countless lives. Joseph brought his entire family, including his aging father Jacob, to live in Egypt. The reunion with his father was one of pure joy. Jacob, who had mourned for decades, could finally hold his long-lost son. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that no matter how deep the pit, no matter how dark the prison, there is always hope. What others may mean for evil, God can turn into good. 8. Joseph's journey from the pit to the palace shows that faith, integrity, and forgiveness can lead to incredible triumph.